nature to bark. Should we move into the week, Ingrid?
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's begin. It's the week of June 26th to July 2nd. This is Monday, June 26th. We are looking at Mercury, the messenger of the gods, guide of souls to the underworld, the planet of consciousness, communication, and coordination in the Cardinal Water sign, symbolized by the crab, Cancer. We are also looking at Mars, the god of war, the planet of action, aggression, and conflict, in the fixed fire sign, symbolized by the lion, Leo, forming a square with Uranus, the primordial sky god, the planet of revolution, rebellion, innovation, independence, and the unexpected, in the fixed earth sign, symbolized by the bull, Taurus. So this was an alignment between Mars and Uranus that we looked at the end of last week. It's still continuing. So we'll talk about that first, and then we'll jump into Mercury. You know, I look at this Leo and Taurus energy, and they're, I know a lot of Leo and Taurus couples. It seems to be a match that finds where people find each other. As it tends to happen with a lot of signs that share modalities, even if the elements are conflicting, like earth extinguishes fire, Leo, fire scorches the earth of Taurus. But what they have in common is Leo is that lion energy. The lion's the king of the jungle. It's that sovereignty. Taurus is the bull. That's the money. So they both like the bling. They both like fancy things. They both like the material. Leo just kind of expects to always have everything that they want or need because they are the king or the queen. Whereas Taurus is the king's accountant. So when you look at these two together, Mars driving through Leo, it's putting energy behind your heart, charging ahead, being courageous in following your heart. Uranus in Taurus is shaking up the material. It's shaking up your self-worth. It's maybe like, I want this. This is in my heart. I want it. I'm going after it. Oh, but wait, in order to do that, I have to elevate my values. I have to elevate my self-worth. If I'm saying that I want something, but my values are down here, then it doesn't match. And so it's like a shift of expectations here, and it can be uncomfortable.
I mean, just thinking about the revolution of the material and your values, I think that, like you said, it kind of, you have to go backwards, but it's like, yeah, if you start with, I think last week we talked a lot about recognizing what our values are and maybe needing to make some changes if we're noticing that what we're doing is not reflecting our values or our lifestyle is not reflecting our
Mm-hmm.
values. So
Mm-hmm.
once we know what our values are, maybe, or we haven't been aware of them. I think I was just talking about dancing and, not really putting enough time into actually improving and getting hard on myself. But it's like, okay,
Ah,
well,
yes.
I need to have a revolution. I need to change what I'm thinking. Either I need to say, okay, well, I'm not improving in my dancing, but I'm not doing anything about it. So I have to accept that and move on. Or I have to say, you know what, I really value? I value being a better dancer. So I'm going to make some changes in my life. This revolution to either acceptance or to making a change. And if I'm making that change in my thought process, then that can come out with this Leo and Mars energy where I'm going and getting it. I'm taking the action with my heart to take more classes, put myself out
Mm-hmm.
there, practice at home. Like, and that right there can be, it's a square. It can be uncomfortable because it's annoying to say, oh, well, I thought I was doing what I wanted, but I really wasn't. I wasn't going after it. I wasn't putting in the work to get what I wanted. So reframing your mind to either accept where you're at or to make a shift in your present reality is difficult. It's always easier to stay status quo, even if that is uncomfortable. It doesn't take any energy to do nothing.
And this is pushing you through the discomfort, this aspect between
We need it. We
Mars
need
and
that.
yes, exactly.
Otherwise, we're not going to make the change.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And
Which,
so this, go ahead. What were we going to say?
oh, it's just so. Sometimes I just cling so tightly to just. I'm like, I just want everything to like. I just don't want to have to put in any more effort. I'm so tired. There's always something happening. I just want everything to be settled and to know what's happening all the time. So sometimes when there is this shift energy, I'm just like, no, it's going to be so hard. But then afterwards, you're like, oh, yeah, I needed that push. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done shit. I would have stayed the
Mm-hmm.
same forever. And that fucking is not, that's not how you grow.
Right. That's
And
right.
then,
And this
can
is
I
where the
bring in
can
this?
this is where the Cancer comes in. The Mercury in Cancer, because this is the planet of the conscious mind in the sign that rules the past, your roots, your upbringing, your childhood, the ones who raised and nurtured you, your ancestors. So, where do my values stem from? Where do when we bring in the Taurus energy and the Leo energy with the Cancer energy, it's where do my values stem from? Do I pick this up from my parents? Was it an experience I had in my childhood on the playground? And then when you think of the Leo energy, where is the desire of my heart come from? Where does that come from? Or why is my heart closed? Who slammed the door on my heart
Mm-hmm.
when I was a child? How can I go back in time and be there and nurture myself in the way that I wasn't nurtured in that moment? Like, if whatever happened to you as a child, that trauma or that experience, maybe it wasn't even like a big trauma, it's just like this, but it's still a trauma. It's like, your school teacher said something to you that discouraged you.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do in that instant now if you were the adult in that situation? How would you treat that child? You'd probably pull that child aside and say, I believe in you.
Hmm.
And and don't let anyone tell you what you can and can't do. It's up to you to decide. But love yourself, or just be kind. It's like, this is what Mercury and Cancer is about. How can we be more kind in our communication? How can we be more caring in the way that we think about others and ourselves? How can we be more kind in our own thoughts? What can we do to nurture our mind and nurture the minds of others so that everybody feels cared for and coddled in a way? This is hopefully a time where there's going to be a lot of sensitivity. Everybody's going to be more sensitive in the way that they're communicating, the way that they're listening. You might find that you're saying something to somebody and they're offended easily, and that's going to
Mm.
cause you to draw back and say, "Oh, I didn't realize that hurt your feelings.
Oh.
I'm sorry. We may be apologizing more during this period." But this is from June 26th to July 10th. The last time Mercury was in Cancer was July 4th to the 19th of 2022. The time before that was July 11th to the 27th of 2021. So think back to those dates for clues on what could be in store for you this next time around as Mercury transits through Cancer. For those that were born with key astrological points or planets in Aries or Libra, this Mercury in Cancer transit will be afflicting your planets or points. So be patient and take your time. If you want to know exactly how that would be affecting you, contact me for a reading at theweeklytransit.com. But otherwise, just be kind and caring to yourself, nurture yourself through any difficulties that you're experiencing during this period.